So from the moment I can remember, I have always wanted to be a teacher, and specifically a kindergarten teacher. And it's amazing that I'm here at ISU, the #1 teaching school, to follow my passion and love for working with young children. At home, I've always interacted with kids by babysitting every moment I had available or volunteering with our local park district. My babysitting experience has always meant more to me than it does to most babysitters. I become part of the family and grow with the parents and the kids. Most of the families I babysat for, I've been with for 4 to 6 years. So I've seen the kids grow from being babies to now being in first or second grade. And I was extremely nervous when I came to ISU that I'd be cut from my passion and love for working with young kids, but luckily I found College Mentors for Kids at Illinois State. For those of you who don't know, a quick background on College Mentors: we are a mentoring program that we work with at-risk youth, first-generation college students, or students who could just benefit from having a mentor in their lives. The kids we work with are first through fifth graders from 4 of our local elementary schools in Bloomington, Illinois. During my time as a mentor, I was paired with a little first grader, and she changed my life. She opened my eyes to so many different things that I was unaware of at the age of 20, but she was aware of at the age of 7. The one day that she completely changed my life, and I will never, ever forget this experience. We were coloring after an activity, just having fun, and I asked her, it was time to go, so I just had to ask her nicely, hey, do you think you could put the crayons away and finish up at home? Quickly, she looked at me with these sad puppy dog eyes and this sad face, and I was a little put back. I was like, oh no, what did I do? Like, why is she so upset? So I asked her, I was just like, hey, like, what's going on? Like, why are you so upset? And she said that she didn't have any coloring supplies at home to finish. My heart sank. I was confused. I was lost. I didn't really know what to do. I wanted to get up and run across the quad and go get her crayons from CVS. But I also realized that this was a learning moment in my life. I could take this moment and, yeah, I was sad for her, but I could also learn and try to help her understand it, but also help myself understand the her experiences and other kids in the world. So this was a moment that I quickly realized that my economic situation growing up and to this day is extremely different from that of the 180 some little buddies we work with, but also the majority of kids today in America. I just recently had heard a statistic that 51% of kids in America today are living below the poverty line. That's more than half. So there's more kids in poverty than are not in poverty. So as a future educator, it's important to know this and to be aware of this. This day, I was able to have a glimpse into poverty and to see the reality of it and to see the effects that it has on these kids. A constant thought, though, that runs through my mind is how it doesn't really seem to bother them. It's just become their normal everyday life, not having what their friends have at school. And not that by any means is right, but these kids have just learned that they have to work to get what they want. And at the age of 7, like, it's super sad to know that she already knows this. Growing up, money was never a topic of conversation in my life. So when I hear that a first grader is worrying about money, it breaks my heart, and I'm a very sensitive person, so it just really, really touched me and obviously has changed my life forever. I grew up in a middle-class family with both my parents working very good jobs. My dad's a deputy chief in Round Lake Beach, Illinois, and my mom's the manager of the hair salon in JCPenney in Algonquin, Illinois. When I grew up, I was by no means spoiled. But I never had to hear no a lot. I didn't get everything I wanted, but I was able to get the majority of what I needed, and I was able to get my needs met. But as I grew up, I myself became aware and conscious of money, but never had that fear that money wouldn't be available if I needed it. So when I hear first grader worrying about financial situations at home, it breaks my heart. She's supposed to be being a kid, running around, having fun, and not worrying about adult things such as money. But it is a constant fear in the back of her head of when she's going to eat next, or not having that box of crayons at home to use. Currently this year, I am the president of College Mentors, so I get to work with all of our little buddies and hear all their stories, and they definitely have changed my life. This was the first moment I realized the impact poverty has on these kids and how fortunate I was growing up, but also as a future educator, that I need to be aware of the other financial situations that are out there, and that it does impact the way they act in school, the way they act towards adults. So I just am so grateful for the experience of being able to not be so egocentric about everything and not being so sheltered and know what's out there in the real world. So I'm forever grateful the impact that College Mentors for Kids has had on my life, even though in return our little buddies are living in poverty, or the majority of them are. But I'm glad at this point, at the age of 20, I am able to realize that everyone has different lives and different background histories.